Everton 2, Liverpool 2, the final Merseyside derby to be played at Goodison Park ended with fiery scenes and controversy. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be the not so instant match reaction to Liverpool's 2-2 draw with Everton at Goodison Park last night. The Reds stretched their lead at the top of the table to 7 points over Arsenal, but it really could have been more in what was a very controversial game in which Michael Oliver didn't cover himself with any glory whatsoever and has certainly not made any friends within the Liverpool fan base as of his performance last night, which in my opinion was absolutely disgraceful from the so-called best referee that English football and the Premier League has to offer. We're going to be talking about the game, we're going to be talking about the controversy and everything else in between, but before we go any further in discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section, let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it about the performance and result yesterday for both Liverpool and Everton in their Merseyside derby. Would love to know what you guys have to say, so please do use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this. Would be great to hear from you all. I'm sure everything that you have to say wait for great and interesting reading, so please do get involved. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Everton versus Liverpool last night, the 2-2 draw, and all of the events and controversies, and even post-match fiery scenes that, of course, occurred last night. First and foremost, let me just say, it's a draw. I 100% get it, but we have to obviously talk about the controversy. And I'm talking about the controversy from the refereeing perspective. The controversy from Michael Oliver. Because for those of you that have obviously followed the channel, followed my work over however long it's been, you'll know that I've tried to be as consistent as I can when I talk about referees. I try and defend them when they need to be defended. I attack them when they need to be held to account for their actions and for the responsibility that they hold within the game. Last night wasn't the be-all and end-all as to why Liverpool lost. The referee is not the sole reason, not the complete sole reason why Liverpool didn't win last night. I'm happy to admit that. However, they are a major reason as to why Liverpool didn't win last night. The refereeing and the VAR are big reasons as to why Liverpool didn't win, and it's only right that we talk about them because it's only right that we hold them accountable for their poor mistakes throughout the entirety of the game. So, Michael Oliver, shockingly bad referee. I don't know why he gets held into this high esteem, high regard by ex-pundits and players and presenters and whoever else talks about him. They always hold him in the highest regard. And I've said time and time again this season, I don't see it. Time and time again, this guy is at the centre of controversy because he seems inept at refereeing a game, keeping the integrity of the game. He seems incompetent of being consistent unless he is consistently inconsistent, and last night was another disgraceful display from him. The only things that I hope come out of last night are the fact that Arsenal fans, or certain Arsenal fans in their fan base, can now lay this agenda to rest, that Michael Oliver is only out to get them. No, Michael Oliver is just a horribly bad referee that is just so poor wherever he is asked to officiate. It is not just Arsenal that he has a problem with. He is just a massive problem for refereeing, for VAR, and for the PGMOL that simply isn't getting any better. And last night's display absolutely 100% proved that. I just hope that we can lay that agenda to rest. I also hope that a lot of rival fans can maybe jump on board with You know, maybe calling out the referee in this situation, maybe saying the referee officiated poorly. We all drop our tribalism and we all come together for the common cause of trying to improve the standards of refereeing and the usage of VAR. Probably unlikely to happen. Everton fans definitely won't call it out. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I'll still be here calling it out regardless because I believe it's the right thing to do. But his performance last night was nothing short of abysmal, in my opinion. Fouls were given aplenty to Everton last night. Even fouls that weren't fouls were given to Everton. A Liverpool player only had to look in the direction of an Everton player and instantly the referee would blow up for a foul. If it happened the other way, there had to be a lot more to it for there to be a foul given to a Liverpool player last night. I think the stat read something like over 20 fouls were awarded to Everton, only 6 to Liverpool. I could be wrong in saying that, but I think that was the stat that I read. It was absolutely a shambolic performance from referees and from linesmen all involved last night. Moving on, fouls were pretty poor. The goals that Everton scored shouldn't have counted. The first goal for Everton came from a free kick, which was not a free kick. The guy jumps over a Liverpool player and wins a foul. Like, what is that? What is that? He doesn't touch him. The Liverpool player, I think it's Alexis McAllister, does not touch the Everton player, and instantly the referee awards a foul. A few minutes later, I think the same player goes down again, kicks the ground, and another free kick is awarded. There were a few fouls like that were a bit weird last night. Mostly for Everton. That were all like that. Idrissa Gueye, already on a yellow card, makes a cynical challenge on a Liverpool player that results in him staying on the pitch, not getting a second yellow. What the hell is that all about? What on God's earth is that all about? How can you produce a cynical challenge whilst also being on a yellow card and not see another yellow card and then as a result a red card? Because I guarantee you, if he wasn't already on a yellow card, he would have definitely been booked in that situation. So why wasn't he booked? Because it's a derby. I keep saying this, you can't referee occasions differently, regardless of whether it's a derby or not. You must be consistent with the rules, because in any other game, he probably sees a yellow card in that situation and he's probably off the pitch. And the game changes from that moment. But yet, he decides to keep him on. And for those that are saying that Conor Bradley may have been lucky not to escape a second yellow, I agree to an extent that maybe he could have actually seen a second yellow for his challenge, but I think it would have been a very, very soft yellow card. It would have been a very, very soft yellow card to give for his second yellow. Not all challenges that you make on a yellow card are yellow card offences. But Idrissa Gueye was more of a yellow card than what most other players on that pitch yesterday got booked for. Especially the likes of Andy Robertson. And even Conor Bradley's first one I thought was a little bit soft. Little pushes. Little pushes and the referee instantly gives a yellow card. The referee lost control of that game within the opening 10 minutes of play. That is how bad this referee was yesterday. And he's meant to be the gold standard. He's meant to be held in the highest regard and the highest esteem of English Premier League football. Absolute joke. An absolute joke in my opinion. I'm still frustrated by it. I'm still annoyed by it. Because this referee gave Liverpool very little yesterday and gave a lot to Everton. Like I say, the yellow card to Idrissa Gueye being one of them. And then the worst one of the lot, Everton's second goal. In the build-up to the goal, Mohamed Salah is going 1v2, 1v3. He cuts inside. He gets brought down The referee is staring right at it and awards nothing. Awards nothing. Even though earlier on in the game, Luis Diaz was running and weaving between 2 or 3 Everton players that were all trying to kick him and bring him down cynically. He gets away with it, and then a 4th Everton player takes the ball off him, and as he turns, he makes the same challenge. Luis Diaz makes the same challenge that the Everton defender did, and he gets penalised for it. This referee was abysmal. He then seemingly, I'm just frustrated by this, so I don't know if it was genuine or not, but it just seemed to me like he just played on a lot longer than he should have done. I know there was a bit of time wasting, and I know there was a bit of time that needed to be added on in injury time as it was, but did it need to be that much? It didn't appear to be, but then he adds more time on, and then Everton break free, and they score the equaliser through Tarkowski in the extra time period. But why wasn't there a foul on Konate? Now, don't get me wrong, I think it would have been an extremely soft foul to give on Konate. But given the fact that Everton players were going down for even softer decisions, given the fact that this referee was blowing up for everything, he was really stopping the momentum or any kind of opportunity for Liverpool to gather momentum throughout the entirety of the game yesterday. He was just blowing for fouls left, right and centre. Everton free kick, Everton free kick, Everton free kick. Given the fact that he was giving so many soft fouls yesterday, it should only have been right that Konate should have got a soft foul on him for the build-up to the Everton goal, and he allows it to stand. He allowed it to stand. He could have given a free kick to Salah, and during the time it would have took to take the free kick, Everton probably wouldn't have gone up the other end and scored. Given the time it would have taken for the free kick to be given to Konate, Everton probably wouldn't have scored. But this referee was atrocious. And it wasn't just the referee, it was atrocious. I want to just say this. Having watched the game on TNT Sport last night, the commentary team were dreadful. I like Ali McCoist. I really, really do like Ali McCoist, but even he last night seemed a little bit on the Everton side of things. The main commentator was seemingly praying for everything to go for Everton. He was praying for an equaliser. He was praying for them scenes at the end. And Rio Ferdinand especially. Absolutely shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. Do not have him commentate on another Liverpool game. Because the clear bias of him, the clear want, the clear praying and desire for Everton to get anything in that game. I think they all at one point were kind of urging Beto to get in the face of Virgil van Dijk. They were pretty much praying for him to sort of lay one on Van Dijk or do something to upset Van Dijk. And then the moment that Liverpool retaliate, he's going, we don't need to see this. We don't want to see this. What is this? This is horrible. We don't like to see things like this. But they were urging Everton to get in physically on Liverpool players. Atrocious refereeing, atrocious commentary, and, even more frustrating, the result. A 2-2 draw. Not the worst result in the world. We extend our lead over Arsenal 100%. But given the way that we obviously dropped those 2 points, given the fact that obviously a lot seemed to go against us yesterday, you know what? In the end, we'll take it. And I do like what Virgil van Dijk said, because it's what a lot of Liverpool fans already know, and it's what I said even in our preview. That was Everton's cup final. We knew that they'd be up for it. We knew that they'd be physical. We knew that they'd be tenacious. And that's exactly what they proved to be. Now, in saying all of that stuff, and we will come to the scenes at the end a little later on, but in saying all of that stuff, I just want to say that's not the be-all and end-all as to why Liverpool didn't win yesterday. Liverpool weren't amazing yesterday, but I felt that we did enough to win. And like I say, Everton did score 2 goals that were not legit goals in my opinion and should not have stood. But there you have it. It is the way of the beast. We weren't great yesterday. We really should have took it away from Everton at certain points. And it did take a while for us to get full control of the game. But obviously, with it being a Merseyside derby, it was always going to be tough. And especially with it being at Goodison. Liverpool very rarely go to Goodison and get it all their own way. So it was always going to be a tough game. But I felt we did enough in terms of being clinical in the final third to win that game. And especially given the way that, obviously, like I say, Everton's first goal shouldn't have stood because it was a free kick given that shouldn't have been a free kick. And Everton's second goal shouldn't have stood because we either should have had a free kick at the other end or a free kick for the foul on Konate. One of those two things should have happened, and then we win the game. And then we win the game. But it wasn't to be. And look, I can say, like, okay, if the foul is given, the foul is given. We still should learn to defend from that free kick. We got caught out by a stupid free kick, we conceded another stupid goal. Fine, whatever. Tarkowski should not be getting a free hit inside the penalty area. That is ridiculous, especially because he's a centre-back, thrown up, and against any other opponent he probably skies it or falls over or whatever. But no, typically he had to bury it into the back of the net on this occasion. But we didn't help ourselves. I can say that for sure. I'm not blaming it all on the ref. He is a major problem. He has been a problem all season. Everybody should be getting on his back critically. Not, of course, abusively. But critically, we should all be getting on his back. But Liverpool didn't help themselves yesterday. Liverpool didn't kill the game off when they should have done. Liverpool probably didn't see the game out properly, and the only thing I can really fault Slot for was maybe not throwing on a Wataru Endo rather than a Diogo Jota with minutes to go. If he'd have thrown on Endo, Endo's got the intelligence and the warrior type nature to battle for everything. We've seen it a few times this season where he's come on and he's won a few free kicks for us, or he's just been very smart in cynical challenges, things like that. Endo should have been the call, in my personal opinion, from Arne Slot, not Diogo Jota. But that is the only tiny thing I can really criticise Arne Slot for in this game. Otherwise, I think the Luis Diaz experiment has failed. It needs to end immediately. Darwin Núñez didn't do a lot when he came on, but obviously helped in setting up the goal, helped set up Curtis Jones for a strike that obviously fell to Mohamed Salah in the end. So I feel like Núñez and Jota is the way to go going forward. Stop this Diaz experiment, drop him to the bench. Other than that, I can't really fault Arne Slot. It was not the best of performances by Liverpool overall, but at the same time, I didn't think it was the worst. It was just an unfortunate situation, and we ended up playing Everton's game. We ended up being drawn into this battle with Everton in which they were getting the lion's share of the referee decisions. It's not a handball on Konate. It's not a second yellow for Conor Bradley. So there's no controversy there, in my opinion. The main controversy occurs in the two goals. Mohamed Salah not being awarded a free kick. Idrissa Gueye not being sent off for a second yellow. It was a complete shambles, to be honest with you. And a lot of people should be calling this out, in my personal opinion. But like I say, we didn't help ourselves. We should have killed the game off when we should have done. But you know what? It's a point. We extend our lead to 7 points. That's our game in hand done and dusted as far as what we're concerned for right now. We're waiting to see what obviously the future brings. We've got a massive game coming up against Wolves at the weekend. We know that Wolves aren't exactly in the best of form, but again, with nothing to lose, did they just throw caution to the wind? We're waiting to see on that one. Yeah, and then we've got Aston Villa coming up afterwards. We've got Manchester City on the horizon as well. Newcastle to come at the end of February in the Premier League before, of course, we play them in the Carabao Cup a couple of weeks afterwards. So we've got a massive few weeks coming up as far as what Liverpool are concerned. And, you know, the result yesterday means that we go 7 points clear. But, of course, it could have been more. Just on the scenes at the end, look, Curtis Jones, full respect to you, my guy. I'm not exactly his biggest fan, let's put it that way, in terms of being a footballer. But yesterday, my respect for him went up another few levels because of the way that he tried to defend Liverpool fans for Abdoulaye Doucouré's celebrations. If we're keeping consistency, Doucouré probably would have been booked anyway because, as we now know, referees are starting to look at celebrations that may antagonise rival fans. And of course, as we saw a couple of weeks ago, Ndiaye got booked for doing a seagull celebration in front of Brighton fans. And obviously, in light of the Miles Lewis-Skelly incident, we now know that seemingly the celebration police are out in full force. So I think he should have probably been booked anyway. But Curtis Jones defending the Liverpool fans and the Liverpool players and the badge especially, it went up a few notches. I don't mind having a bit of needle. And as I've said before, having rivals celebrate is what is part and parcel of football, in my opinion. So I wouldn't have been too angry about what Doucouré did. If he wants to celebrate the 2-2 draw, a point in the way that he did, fine, fair enough. You go for it, but, you know, fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll be celebrating actual trophies and silverware at the end of this season. Hopefully. So, yeah, it produced fiery scenes, but it didn't have to produce fiery scenes if the referee had just done his job. The referee had just done his job, because he clearly lost control of the game, like I say, after the opening 10 minutes, with stupid fouls being given for not even fouls, in my personal opinion. He lost control of it. He was seemingly getting paid by the yellow card that he was brandishing, and that continued after the full-time whistle. He sends off Doucouré for a second yellow. He sends off Curtis Jones, and then he has the audacity to send off Arne Slot for seemingly a bit of a rough handshake. These referees are protected so much. It is unbelievable. Because it's not going to be them that suffer. It's not going to be them that, you know, are hit with major or even minor, to an extent, consequences or punishments. It's the players. It's the managers, it's coaches, it's the people representing Liverpool in this instance, but the clubs in general. And of course, the fans suffer as well. So, yeah, referees are so protected, it's unbelievable. I didn't really want to speak completely on referees, but obviously that is what the nature of yesterday was. Like I say, Everton did battle very hard. They did go there to play an ugly game of football, I guess you could say, but it worked. And I'm not discrediting that. Like, they knew what they had to do in order to get something out of that game, and they worked it to perfection, and the referee bought everything that they were selling. Pretty much everything that they were selling, the referee was buying into. As a commentary team was a disgrace. It was just a very poor result yesterday, a very poor performance. Liverpool didn't help themselves, I don't think, but at the same time, we probably did enough to be clinical and to score legitimate goals to actually get ourselves the 3 points. But it isn't. That's just the nature of football. It's the nature of the beast. And we move on. We move on. We get to say goodbye to Goodison Park, finally, on horrible, awkward ground for now, for forever. And that's just the way that we close another chapter in the life of the Premier League. Look, Liverpool spent their lead 7 points. That is the bottom line of it. That is obviously what we have to mainly focus on. That is what we have to obviously look at as the saving grace for this. It wasn't a loss. It wasn't a completely missed opportunity. But it is a 3-game swing now that completely holds weight in this title race as we go forward. Those are your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Liverpool versus Everton yesterday? What do you make of the 2-2 draw that played out at Goodison Park? Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading down below in that comment section, so please do get involved down there. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. And thank you all so much for your either continued or brand new support to the channel. If you are brand new, welcome along to the journey and the adventure that we're on. If you are continuing your support, you guys are also awesome as well. So thank you all so much for that. It means a great deal to myself and the channel that you continue to watch and like and whatever it is that is supporting the channel. Very much appreciated. Will never be taken for granted. So thank you all for that very, very much, Lee, from the bottom of my heart. I've been Fletch. This has been another not so instant match reaction to Liverpool's 2-2 draw with Everton. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.